A man and a woman crash their plane on an island and have to battle the elements as well as their dislike for each other. Welcome back to Nonstop Recap. Today we'll be recapping the 1998 action comedy film 6 Days, 7 Nights. The film starts with Robin Monroe, a savvy New York businesswoman, as she heads to her job as an editor at a magazine company. Marjorie, Robin's boss, is upset with some issues in the company, and she discusses them with Robin as they go to check out a photo shoot. While they talk, Robin is given a huge bouquet of flowers that were sent by her boyfriend Frank. Alongside the flowers is a romantic note written on an invitation to a fancy restaurant that Frank and Robin have dinner plans for. At the dinner, Frank surprises Robin with a trip to a tropical island for 6 days and 7 nights. Robin is hesitant at first, but Frank assures her that he's already cleared it with her boss. We see the couple arrive at their island, and Robin is tasked with finding a charter plane while Frank gets their bags. She ends up meeting a rough pilot named Quinn Harris as he works on his plane. She asks where their plane is, since the one he's working on is smaller than what she saw in her brochure, and Quinn says that the original plane got held up, so he's going to be filling in. Robin's nervous about how safe Quinn's plane is, but Quinn assures her everything will be fine. Frank eventually catches up to Robin, and she tries to suggest they find another way to get to their destination, but Frank thinks the plane is fine. The couple are put into some safety vests and get ready to take off, but before they leave, a gorgeous woman named Angelica gets on. Quinn says that she's their hostess and kisses her. The plane ride goes smoothly, and Frank and Robin soon find themselves at their idyllic island resort. The two go look at their room and are in awe of their amazing view. Frank embraces Robin and says that this will be the most unforgettable vacation of their lives. That night, Frank reminds Robin that it's their 3-year anniversary of when they met. Frank then proposes to Robin, and she happily accepts. The two go to the bar to celebrate and dance for a while. Frank heads off for a second, and Quinn ends up flirting with her because he's too drunk to remember who she is. Quinn pokes fun at the tourists who come to the island looking for romance, saying that if they can't find it anywhere else, then they won't be able to find it here. Frank then shows back up and leaves with Robin. The next day, Robin gets a call from Marjorie and is asked to go on a work-related trip to a nearby island during her vacation. Robin doesn't want to because she's nervous that Frank will be mad, but she ultimately agrees. Robin goes to Quinn's room to ask him if he can fly her there, and he agrees once she offers to pay him extremely well. However, he'll be going alone since Angelica has work to do on the island. As she suspected, Frank is upset that Robin agreed to a work trip on the day after they got engaged. Robin consoles him and promises it's just for one night, and it's decided that he'll stay behind while she goes on the trip. A storm starts brewing as Quinn and Robin prepare to leave, and Robin gets nervous that it isn't safe to fly, but Quinn assures her it'll be fine. The two head out and start to bond when Quinn asks Robin about her work. The storm around them quickly gets worse, and we see Quinn looking nervous. Meanwhile, Frank is having dinner by himself at the resort when he sees Angelica dancing. He's enchanted by her dance and can't take his eyes off her. Back at the plane, Quinn tells Robin to put her seatbelt on while he tries to radio for a weather update. When he can't understand what the radio is saying, he decides that it's too dangerous to continue, and he gets ready to turn the plane around. Robin starts to take some Xanax to calm her nerves, but she starts to get loopy from it, so Quinn cuts her off. The plane is then struck by lightning and badly damaged, forcing Quinn to make a distress call. Still loopy from her Xanax, Robin starts interfering with the Mayday call and irritating Quinn. The storm is bearing down on the plane and threatening to take it out of the sky, so Quinn crash lands on a nearby island. The next morning, Robin wakes up and has no memory of what happened the night before. Quinn tells her they're on a random island and they can't use the plane because the landing gear got crushed when they crashed. Robin asks if he can fix it, but he tells her that it's past his expertise. Robin then tries to use her phone to call for help, but that plan quickly falls apart when she realizes they don't have any signal. Quinn unpacks their supplies and tells Robin that even if people do come looking for them, it's unlikely that they'll be found. He tells her that the best tool they have is a flare gun, but they only have one flare. Quinn warns Robin that they're probably going to be stuck together for a while, so Robin asks for her money back, irritating Quinn and leading to an argument. Angry, Robin rushes into Quinn's plane but is distracted when she finds a life raft. She thinks they should use it to get off the island, but Quinn warns her that that's a bad idea. Back with Frank, he's out eating breakfast when he gets a call from Marjorie asking where Robin is. Frank goes to find out some information on where Robin might be and meets up with Angelica, who is looking for information on Quinn. Frank and Angelica end up meeting with a rescue pilot named Tom and a crewman named Ricky. Frank asks them if they have high-tech equipment that they'll be using to find Quinn and Robin, but Tom tells them that they're just going to look out of the window. Meanwhile, Robin and Quinn go to collect some water and end up bickering the entire time. They end up making it to a waterfall, but Robin gets scared when a wild pig runs up to her. Robin runs into the water to get away from it, but starts freaking out when she feels something in her pants. Quinn reaches in and ends up pulling out a snake. Sometime later, Robin watches Quinn as he cuts up some large leaves. Using the cut-up leaves, Quinn fashions a disguise and uses it to hunt peacocks. That night, Quinn cooks up some of the peacock and has dinner with Robin. She asks him about his background and makes fun of him, only to quickly apologize and say it was out of line. After dinner, the two wash up in the ocean and look at the stars before saying goodnight. The next morning, Robin wakes up and hears a plane overhead. She tries to wake up Quinn but isn't able to, leading her to grab his flare gun so she can get the plane's attention. As she goes to shoot the flare, Quinn grabs her in his sleep and causes her to misfire and shoot a nearby tree, setting it on fire. The noise wakes Quinn up and he's furious when he finds out that Robin wasted their one flare. The two start to argue again and begin to blame each other for the situation they found themselves in. Frank and Angelica are flying out with Tom to try and find Quinn and Robin, however, they're not successful. Frank is nervous, but Angelica assures him that no matter where they are, Quinn is taking care of Robin. Back on the island, the two are hiking toward the island's peak so they can make a distress beacon when suddenly the ground breaks beneath them and they fall into a cave. Eventually they make it out of the cave and Quinn has to help Robin get a scorpion out of her hair. After continuing their trek through the island's mountain range, they eventually make it to the peak, only to find that there is no beacon. Quinn realizes this must mean they're on a different island than he thought, and starts to grow frustrated while Robin tries to reassure him and calm him down. Suddenly, Robin spots a boat off the coast and Quinn comes up with a plan for them to be able to reach the boat by morning. They head back to the beach and use their lifeboat to try and reach the boat. As they paddle out, Robin asks Quinn about his past relationships and learns that Quinn has an ex-wife who left him for his best friend. Robin soon spots another boat, but the two quickly realize that it's a pirate ship. Quinn begins to quickly paddle away, however, one of the pirates has spotted them and alerts the others. A few of the pirates set out on a motorboat to kill Robin and Quinn, however, the two are able to make it to shore. The pirates pursue them on foot and are eventually attacked. Robin is captured and held at gunpoint, so she lies and says they have gold, buying them some time from the pirates. As the pirates lead them away, the two manage to break free and run. They end up coming to a dead end at the edge of a cliff. Quinn says they have to jump, but Robin is too scared. As a distraction, Quinn kisses Robin before eventually pushing her off the cliff and jumping after her. They're able to swim to shore on the other side of the island and end up making out on the beach. They continue deeper into the island afterwards and eventually come across an old World War II plane. Meanwhile, Frank and Angelica are back at the resort bar and are getting drunk. Afterward, they go back to Angelica's room and she offers for him to stay with her. Frank almost agrees, but he reluctantly backs out at the last second. That night, Robin and Quinn admit that they have feelings for one another, but Robin states she can't act on them. Instead, the two just cuddle together and fall asleep. When Robin wakes up in the morning, she finds Quinn taking apart the old plane, stating that he has a plan to get them off the island. Angelica gets woken up by the rescue team telling her they're about to head out, and she goes to wake up Frank. It's revealed that Frank did end up sleeping with Angelica, and he begins to feel guilty about it. Angelica tries to make him feel better, but Frank insists that what they did was wrong. The two go out for food, and Frank continues to express his guilt over their affair. However, he's interrupted when the resort manager comes by to tell them that the search party for Robin and Quinn has been called off. On the deserted island, Robin and Quinn wade through a river back towards their original camp with some plane parts in tow. They talk more about Quinn's past before eventually getting the pieces to camp and using them to fix their plane. As they complete their makeshift repairs, the pirates show back up and begin attacking. Quinn is injured as he and Robin get into the plane, but he is still able to get into the air. The two are able to fly over the pirates and begin heading back towards the resort. However, Quinn is rapidly losing blood from his injury. He starts quickly giving Robin instructions on how to fly the plane, and when he eventually loses consciousness, Robin is forced to take over. Frank and Angelica are attending a ceremony being held in honor of Robin and Quinn's supposed death, but Frank's guilt gets the better of him and he starts begging a priest to forgive him of his sins. Angelica is trying to comfort him when she notices Quinn's plane flying in the distance. Robin roughly lands in the water and gets Quinn medical help. Sometime later, Robin is back in her room with Frank and notices him acting strangely. He starts to confess to his affair but chickens out. Robin visits Quinn in the hospital and asks him what their relationship is. He thinks she deserves someone better, so the two wish each other good luck and Robin leaves. Later, Robin is at the airport with Frank when she says that getting married would be a mistake, and Frank ends up confessing to his affair with Angelica. Robin gives Frank the engagement ring back and says they aren't really in love. Meanwhile, Quinn is rushing to the airport to find Robin before she leaves. However, he sees her plane leave and thinks he was too late. Suddenly, he spots Robin off in the distance, and the two rush to each other before confessing their love and kissing. Click one of the videos on screen for more.